My review of the Moby Grape album, Moby Grape 69. It was released in 1969 and produced by David Rubinson. So this is the four-man Moby Grape album. Skip Spence left after Wow, but he's still on like one of the tracks on here and has a bonus track. This was the first Moby Grape album I got, other than the Greatest Hits album. I believe at the time I was able to find this on Amazon, I think. Honestly, I can't remember exactly when or how I got it, but I assume it was from Amazon because that's mainly what I was using to buy stuff around the time I got this. I probably got this in either, I don't know, 2009 or 10 or 11, somewhere around in there. I listened to this a lot when I got it. A lot like driving to college and stuff. I remember listening to it. So this album seems to be in a lot of ways kind of them trying to get back to what they did on the first album, or go back to something like simpler after all the experimentation and psychedelic stuff on Wow. This album's a lot more like almost a country rock type of album. I would kind of divide most of it into like rockers and ballads with like a couple songs that don't really fit that. And I would say that I think that they do kind of the ballads better on this album. I do like quite a few of the rockers on here, but a few of them have always been amongst my like lesser favorite tracks on here. I don't really hate any songs on this album, but there are a few that like I'm not crazy about. The opening track, Ooh Mama Ooh, is a Miller Stevenson song. It's not a bad opener, but it's not my favorite song on the album. I think I like the instruments, like what they're playing. I think the song's pretty catchy. It just at the end of it, it has these kind of like goofy like vocal improv things that they're doing. That kind of have always like thrown me off a little bit. So like towards the ending of the song, it's not my favorite, but I like most of the song. But kind of an uneven opening track. The second track, Ain't That a Shame, a song by Miller Stevenson and Lewis. This one I really like. It's I'm not sure who's singing it. I think they're kind of singing together. But I like the vocals a lot. I think it's a really catchy song. I really like the drums on this. There's this kind of like guitar part. It's not, I don't know, it's not really like a solo, but it's like some kind of like acoustic guitar picking that kind of sticks out. And then there's this drum fill like after that part that I've always really liked. But yeah, it's a really cool, catchy song. Kind of more into the like ballad territory, but I'm not sure exactly if I'd say it's that. The third track, I'm Not Willing, Peter Lewis song. This one's kind of different because it's like piano driven, and I'm not actually sure who's playing the piano on this album. It didn't say on the Wikipedia page, and I couldn't find it in the album information either. So yeah, no idea who's playing the piano on this album, but it's got kind of this cool piano part that kind of repeats through it and is kind of the main driving instrument throughout the song. It's a catchy song. I like the vocal a lot. It's got some kind of some like cool little guitar licks that kind of pop up throughout it. I'm not sure if I'd call them a solo or not because it's like pretty short, but some cool guitar in it. So that's another really strong track. The fourth track, It's a Beautiful Day Today, a song by Bob Mosley. This was the first song off this album that I heard. It might have been the first Moby Grape song I heard. It was either this or 805 off the first album, I'm pretty sure. There was a YouTube video of it. Like basically, I saw these guys' name on a review website, and I thought, oh, that's a really funny name. I want to see what those guys sound like, so I typed them into YouTube. And a video of them playing this song. I think they might be miming it, but there's a video anyway of them doing this song, and I listened to that and I liked the song a lot, like right off the bat. So I really wanted to get this song, and it wasn't on the Greatest Hits album, so that made me like hunt down this album. That's kind of the reason why it ended up being my first album outside of the Greatest Hits. That and I could find it. But anyway, yeah, this song probably tied for my favorite on here with another track that comes later. Good vocal from Bob Mosley on it. Really like the band's playing on it. It's kind of more of a ballad type song, but just a really nice, a cool song. Fifth track, Hoochie, is another Bob Mosley song. This is more of a rocker, and this and the next song are kind of the two that I'm most like not crazy about on this album. Probably more so this one. It's kind of a longer song for this album because this album, most of the songs in here are pretty short. The album itself is pretty short. It's like I think just under 30 minutes. But yeah, this song just, I don't know, I don't hate it or anything, but it's never been my favorite. Just, I don't think it's like very catchy. Don't find the, like instrumentally what's going on all that interesting. I think the bass stands out a little bit more in it than it does on some of this album. Like usually Mosley's bass like really stands out to me on their albums, and this one I don't know if it's the way it's mixed or recorded or what it is, but I just don't notice it as much in the songs. So yeah, Hoochie, probably my least favorite track on the album. Sixth track, Truckin' Man, another Mosley rocker. Another one that's not my favorite. I like this one more instrumentally. I like what's going on quite a bit. I do think it's a catchy song. I just always found the lyrics a little cheesy. I think that like maybe they could have used a little bit more work. So not a bad track, but not my favorite on here. The seventh track, If You Can Learn From My Mistakes, Peter Lewis track, and this is the other one that's kind of my favorite on here. So like this and It's a Beautiful Day Today are kind of tied for my favorite track. This is another one that's more of a ballad. I think it's really catchy. It's got just some really cool guitars going on throughout it. Peter Lewis's vocals really great. So just a really big highlight. The eighth track, Captain Nemo, Miller Stevenson song. This one's more of a rocker. Another one that's got some piano in it. I like this one a lot. It's kind of a faster song. Kind of a strange song, but I think it's catchy in its own way. I was familiar with this going into this album because it was on the greatest hits that I had. I remember that. The ninth track, What's to Choose, another Peter Lewis ballad. This one's a really short song, and it's a little bit like, I don't know, it's catchy and I like it. It's nice. It's got a good vocal, but it's a little bit like of a kind of a sleepy track. Like it's just not the most like energetic song on here, but I do like it. The 10th track, Going Nowhere, Miller Stevenson song, another rocker, and this one I like. It's a pretty catchy song. I like the vocals a lot. It's got some cool guitar on it. I like the Stevenson's drums a lot. He's really kind of like bashing away heavier than he normally does. So yeah, another good track. The 11th and final track, Scene, is a Skip Spence song that I think they had worked on during WoW, and they completed here and put it on. It has Skip Spence kind of comes in singing in the first part, and then Mosley comes in when kind of like the drums and everything kick in, and then it like goes back to Skip Spence and then goes back to Mosley. So there's like kind of two different vocals on it. Both of them are, I think, really good. It's a really cool track, really great closing track. It's definitely like the best choice on here for a closing track. Just a really cool, this is like the most psychedelic sounding they get on here. The rest of the album's like pretty country rock. But yeah, this is just a really cool way to close the album. The bass in this song I really like. Some really cool guitars, the drums, they all just play really well on it. And yeah, just another really kind of different song from Skip Spence, but it's really cool. And a great way to end the album. The CD version that I have has quite a few bonus tracks on it. There's a Bob Mosley song, Soul Stew. That's another kind of rocker from him. This one I kind of think I like a little more than Hoochie because it's at least got kind of a cool riff. There's a demo of If You Can't Learn From My Mistakes, which has some really cool like acoustic fingerpick guitar. I've listened to that demo a ton. It's kind of another one of my favorite things on here, really. There's You Can Do Anything, a Skip Spence song. It's cool, but it kind of sounds unfinished. Like the vocals, it sounds like he didn't have like all the lyrics. I'm not sure if he did or not, but it sounds like he didn't have like the lyrics finished for all of it. Then there's a Beautiful Day demo that's also cool. What to Choose demo, which is cool. Then there's a track called Big by Miller Stevenson, which is also a demo. And it's kind of this goofy joke country rock type song, which it's fine but not great. And then there's a Hoochie demo, which I don't really find that interesting because I don't love the song. So Moby Grape 69, I think, is really a lot better of an album than it gets credit for. Like, I don't really hear it mentioned that much, or, well, I mean, I don't hear Moby Grape mentioned that much, but I feel like all the attention does go to their first album and maybe like Wow to a lesser extent. But this is a really solid album, especially given, you know, that they just lost a member. And I mean, they were about ready to lose another member with Mosley leaving after this album was finished. So yeah, with what they were going through and with them trying to go, I guess, back to more of like the basics and first album type of sound than going like forward onto something new. Now, even though I guess they do go like more into country rock than was on the first album with this, but I don't know, like I think all the things considered with what they're dealing with at the time, it's a really good album. I think it's kind of the, I don't know, kind of the rawest produced sounding album of their like original 4-album run. And yeah, I don't know, I mean, there are 2 songs on it that I'm not really that crazy about, and I like the rest of it a lot. And I think that I mean, most of the stuff on here I would put up as like relative highlights. Like as far as like if I was making like a Moby Grape playlist, there would be like half the tracks on here at least. So yeah, a really strong album. Definitely recommend checking this one out, especially if you like the first album.